So interest rates at what they are, maybe I should just rent. I could get one for the same price, or maybe even save money. Well, I'm gonna break down renting versus buying in 2024 here in this video. And by the way, my name's Leonberg and I run a local real estate team here in the Tampa area. So if we can help you buy or sell in any way, feel free to hit me up in the contact info below. All right, so let me give you a couple areas, and this is just my experience in buying real estate and renting. Equity has saved my butt. Equity, every 2 years and 1 day, we've sold a home for the last, I don't know, 7 or 8 years, maybe more. And we've actually gained over 600K in equity. We've realized about 300 or 400 of it in our current house. We have another about 300K that we haven't, sold and realized yet, but we've gotten about almost 400,000, a little less out of the first 3 homes we had. Every time I've made some stupid decisions, that equity was kind of always there to save my butt. So I think, with some of the short-term decisions we can make, equity being such a long-term gainer and the compound effect that can happen in life that we don't, always compute in our heads, that equity can help save us of some stupid decisions. Whereas with an apartment, you simply don't have any of that. You just, you're month to month, always. There's no flexibility. It's very rigid. There's no way to save your butt whenever you overspend or you don't, you're not responsible, which maybe I have been before. Another thing is what you get for that price. I know apartments can be awesome, but when you really break it down, you have shared walls, you're at the mercy of the management. It's probably less square footage. I had super bad anxiety when we had an apartment because we had somebody underneath us that if we would even take the slightest step, I'm talking the slightest step, they would take a broom and hit the ceiling above us. It was ridiculous. But, I just don't like to argue. So, we even told our children to take like what do we call it? Like soft feet, walk with soft feet. My point is there was a constant level of anxiety. I vacuumed at 2 o'clock on a Sunday, and when I was done, 2 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon, when I was done just vacuuming, the person below me is knocking. So there's just a level of stress. I'm not saying you can't get that with neighbors. I'm sure that's true, but just an apartment, it's a little, tighter quarters. It was not something that I enjoyed. So coming back to what you get for your money too, I think you get way more for your money. For the same price, you get your own home, something you can customize, make your way, kind of have control over, and really have that sense of home ownership. If you've ever owned a home before, you know what it feels like when you come home and it's like, this is my home and I can do what I want to it, minus HOA rules. I can just tell you from having an apartment to moving into a home, there's a big difference. And our payment was pretty similar, and we were able to get a house. Now we bought at a different time, that's fair. But when I look at apartments now, they're smaller. You're not going to get, we have a 4-bedroom house plus an office, huge living room, dining room, all that good stuff, pool, our own pool. I can't get that unless I'm paying $4,000 or $5,000 plus a month, for a house that I'm paying less than that in a mortgage for, that I'm also gaining equity on in the meantime. So for me, it's just, I think you get way more for what you pay for. I think people compare that it's the same or cheaper, but I think when you actually look at the square footage in the living situation, you get way more in the house than you do in the apartment. One other thing I'll talk about is safety. So I feel you get a lot more safety in a house. I don't, being in an apartment, I felt like I was in a hotel a lot. Now, of course, if you're renting maybe a single family home, maybe this isn't as much the case, but people have the codes, you can't change certain things. They might have keys that you don't know about because you're not actually the owner of the home. So, I definitely think there's a lot more safety in home ownership than there is in apartment living personally. That's just at least how I feel. That's how I felt doing both. This is just, again, my perspective. It's just my honest opinions. So anyway, I hope this is helpful. I truly believe in the power of home ownership. I mean, home equity has changed my life. I personally feel that I was way more anxiety free and a lot less stress having a home versus even though there's a lot of repairs, and apartment living is definitely less stressful whenever you consider that you're not responsible for repairs. But I have a lot less stress just knowing this is my house, this is my safe zone, this is my space, I can do with what I want. For me, it's just been better to live at home. It's just my opinion, so you can have your own too. But anyways, I hope that was helpful. Feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. We're going to talk about living here in the Tampa area. Hope this one was helpful to you, but thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you around.